Hello, 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 everyone. This is why I've been waiting to go live and I've been trying to organize the camera and everything like that because I wanted to show you guys my new desk that I got. And I'll take another video so you guys can see everything. But basically, I have a real desk now. It has well, I guess technically three. Yeah, so one, two, three. I got my $2 bills that my mom gave me for good luck. So yeah, I got those. So I was like, okay, we're gonna have a good stream today. So I'm gonna make sure I got these $2 bills. I got my lanterns that I got from the YouTube events and stuff like that right here. I got my Kamala Harris book right here. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. You know, I got my headphone that I never use. I don't like wearing them. My head is already huge, so you know I don't want to draw more attention to my big old head. But anyway, you guys, hopefully you like the new setup and everything like that. Microphone, you know, look more, professional. You know, yeah. I don't know what was going on, so I had needed a new cord anyway because it was kind of bent, the micro. So what ended up happening was that I was, as you guys seen yesterday, I was running around trying to find a new cord, right? And then I was like, whatchamacallit? Went to Best Buy, got the wrong one. Only see half your face. Let me. Oh, okay. I see what you guys mean. Okay. All right, there we go. So yeah, so I was running Best Buy trying to get the cord. If you can't see me, come to the other live. Come to the other live, the vertical one. If you come to the vertical one, you can see me and my big body. You can see me in the big body. You know, I thought I was big enough to where y'all could see all of me, no matter what angle I was at. Come to the regular live. If you can't see me, come to the regular one. Okay. All right. So I had needed to purchase a new cam link, right? So I go purchase a new cam link from Amazon. They finally deliver it, and it still wasn't working. And so I kept plugging it, unplugging it, plugging it, unplugging it. Tell me why the old one works. So now I wasted $100 again, and I need to go ahead and return it. But what happens is, like, if I unplug it again, it'll blink twice and then turn off, and it won't work again. So I'm like, man. Hey, had to move from the vertical. Okay, yeah. Come to the other one, you guys. Come to the other one. I don't want to cancel the vertical one because if I do, it'll end the whole live. Yeah, so now I'm here, y'all. So now I need to return this so I can get my $100 back. But anyway, y'all, how everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling? But yeah, I wanted to show y'all the new desk and setup and everything like that. That's why the camera part was important. But let's go ahead and play the intro. And Candace Owens has finally made a statement. She said she had a 4.5-hour conversation with Erika Kirk. We want to know what went down. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Here we go. All right, y'all. So this is big ET head Candace right here. This is what she said. Here we go.
I'm alive. I'm totally fine. And I'm sorry. I was going to do a show for you guys this evening, but I am truly exhausted. Very productive conversation. I asked every single question. I mean, from Egyptian planes to Turning Point USA Faith. And I was very surprised by some of the answers that I got. And I think they were also very surprised when I shared certain intel. This probably should have happened a very long time ago, but I wanted to let you guys know that I am alive and I will have the full rundown for you guys tomorrow of what transpired. And yeah, I think it was definitely a very big step in the right direction. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I'll play it.
4.5 hours later, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm totally fine. And I'm sorry. I was going to do a show for you guys this evening, but I am truly exhausted. Very productive conversation. I asked every single question. I mean, from Egyptian planes to Turning Point USA Faith. And I was very surprised by some of the answers that I got. And I think they were also very surprised when I shared certain intel. This probably should have happened a very long time ago, but I wanted to let you guys know that I am alive and I will have the full rundown for you guys tomorrow of what transpired. And yeah, I think it was definitely a very big step in the right direction. So
okay, let me stop it right there. This is what I gotta say real quick. All right, so really this whole meeting was to make Candace shut up and stop asking so many questions. Let's go ahead and appease her. Let's go ahead and take in her questions and blah, 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 right? Here's the thing. It really does not matter what Candace believes. It doesn't even matter what we believe. At the end of the day, that's Erika Kirk's husband. Can we be honest? This is Erika Kirk's husband. Whether she is okay with what happened to him or she questions it, she wants to know what happened, Erika is the one that makes that decision. All of us talking about what we think and whatnot. Well, honestly, I don't give a damn. What Candace thinks and all that, that's entertainment. That's some internet fodder shit, as far as conspiracy theories. At the end of the day, it matters what Erika Kirk thinks. Now, do I think that Candace does have real intentions on wanting to know what happened to Charlie Kirk and the actual truth? Yes, I do. I do feel that she has every right to want to know what happened to her friend, right? But at the end of the day, it's none of your goddamn business. You pushing harder for somebody who is not your husband than you do your own actual family. Listen, if Erika is okay with everything that's going down, then hell, you got to be okay with it. And this is just me being honest about it. It doesn't matter what I think, what you think. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. At the end of the day, it's about Erika. And if Erika is happy with the investigation that they're doing, that's all that matters. Erika should not have to have came out and told Candace to stop. The crazy part about this is that Erika had to tell you to stop, but originally you said, "Oh, if Erika tells me to stop, I'll go ahead and stop." Well, she told you to stop, and you still didn't want to stop. So, what after this 4-hour meeting makes us think that she's going to stop? Because even after this 4.5-hour meeting, right? She's saying that she's going to then go live on her show tomorrow to talk about it. Candy girl, I think they want you to shut the hell up. I don't think they still want you to talk about it. I'm just gonna be honest, I think this meeting was to appease you so you could shut up, but I don't think you're gonna shut up. That's the problem. You are going to keep running your mouth. And granted, let's be honest about something. Should you be able to just say whatever you want to and run your mouth? Yeah. But if that was really your friend, if Charlie was really your friend, why did you not call Erika? Has anybody asked that question? All this stuff, all the ideas and all the conspiracy theories that she had about Charlie Kirk, I'll say some of the concern was valid, right? And then it went off somewhere into some deep, dark space. But, after someone passes away, usually you reach out to the family, right? Why didn't you reach out to Charlie Kirk's family? Why didn't you reach out to Erika Kirk? Erika Kirk should have been the first person that you contacted. what I want to know about this 4-hour meeting, was that the first time that Erika and Candace Owens spoke since its passing? Put a 1 in the chat, you guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you find it weird if this is their first conversation since Charlie Kirk passed away. Put a 2. No, you think it's fine. Right, that's the other thing. She got to have proof of what she's saying. Israel partnering with France to try to take her down. That makes no sense. Thank you, user. Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, V. Thank you. Thank you, son. Yeah. It's not making sense at all. Not one lick of sense. It makes no sense. Like, if anything, you should have called Erika. That should have been the first person that you called. Whether or not, oh, I called I spoke with a friend, I spoke with this person, I spoke with that. Like, Erika should have been one of those people within the first that you called. To at least wish her or say, your condolences and stuff like that. But the fact that you didn't even do that, and this is the first meeting that you guys have, oh, you clout chasing, homie. What's up, Jackie? How you doing? New setup looks dope. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Jay, hit me up on Instagram. I want to interview you on my backup channel, AT2_for real. Hit me up. 2, because probably never liked it. Listen. I'm thinking that also too. Like I said, people thought it was strange or weird when Candace was doing all this kind of, Charlie, we did this and he taught me this and reminiscing. It was like, oh, this was your lover, huh? This was your lover. You was in love with Charlie. And granted, I mean, it makes sense, right? He's a nerd. She's a nerd. Like, we got to remember that. In real life, take the politics out of it. Charlie Kirk is a nerd and she's a nerd. So 2 nerds together, perfect. And the way that they spend a lot of time, because you got to remember, and I'm going to look into this as well, too. But Turning Point, right? So they started Turning Point. But what came from Turning Point was that Blexit. Remember Blexit? It was supposed to get all the Black people to leave the Democratic plantation and become Republicans. Remember that? Well, yeah. So Blexit, that was Candace Owens. She was like the chairman of that and was supposed to usher in the new wave of Black Republicans and all this other stuff. But whatever happened with that? Candace is still listed on their website as a chairman of Blexit. But you never hear Candace Owens talking about Blexit. Now Candace Owens says, because all the Republicans are mad at her because she said, screw the midterms. I don't care about the midterms. I care about my friend Charlie Kirk. And it seems that all of you guys are caring about the midterms and not Charlie, right? Well, she's a part of Blexit. Shouldn't you be promoting that or throwing events and stuff like that? Was she ever head of Blexit, really? Or was her name just on it because she was the prominent Black conservative? Charlie is unattractive and definitely wasn't going to publicly date a Black girl. Listen, River, I think that has a lot to do with it. I think he did not want to. Listen. I think he did. He did hit her with that pencil dick. I do think he hit her with that pencil dick, right? And they had something going on, but I think for Charlie, he couldn't be with a Black girl. Candace has even talked about how she's with her husband. Her husband is a white British guy, right? She said that there was people telling her that she needed to be with a black guy and not some white guy. She needed to be with a black guy. And it would like help her image and stuff like that if she had a black family, all this other shit. So you cannot tell me that there was probably outside pressures to the reason why they weren't together. Because let's be honest, Erika is kind of like the all-American girl type that they wanted Charlie Kirk to be with and procreate with. You know, blonde, blue eyes, white woman. Candace Owens with him, that doesn't really fit the mold. If we're going to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. Because look at J.D. Vance, our vice president. They call his wife every derogatory term ever. They talk about her religion. They talk about the way she looks. They say she's an immigrant. You know, all these things. And they degrade J.D. Vance's wife just for being Indian. And let's be honest, fuck J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance don't even stand up for his own wife. He don't even stand up for his own Indian kids. He's a horrible person. I bet you when J.D. Vance gets ready to run for president, if we have an election, shit, I bet you he divorces that wife. Now, I ain't gonna say it's gonna be Erika, but he divorces that wife. They're already hounding him about how he needs to divorce her and get rid of her. And J.D. Vance is so hungry for power, he would get rid of his wife. He's that thirsty. And mind you, the reason why I stay on like these Republicans and these MAGA, the reason why I stay on their necks is because they know better. And what they teach and preach, they don't even believe it. Don't forget, J.D. Vance was a never Trumper. He even called Trump Hitler. He used to drag Trump. And now that's his homie. Now he's the VP. A little weird, right? J.D. Vance doesn't have any conviction. He literally will go any way the wind blows. Whoever is funding him and giving him money, because for those of you who don't know, the reason why Donald Trump picked J.D. Vance is because Peter Thiel, who's a billionaire, and Elon Musk, who we know got issues in his head, and who's a billionaire, was like, hey, you need to pick this guy. Because they want him to be the next in line. But he doesn't have a white wife. So we'll see how that works. But going back to the subject at hand, Candace, you know, she's in the situation that she's in right now because I don't think she ever was passionate about politics. This was just something that was fun to her. And she recognized the grift. She realized, okay, if I go out here and peddle things a negative about Black people, I can make me some money. If I say that all Black people are, you know, criminals, make fun of Black death, you know, I'll get money. Candace don't give a damn. And notice how all the Republicans have turned on Candace. I don't think it has anything to do with the conspiracy theories. She's been doing that. That's nothing new. She's been doing conspiracy theories. The reason why they're upset is because they're like, how dare you? You Black bee. How dare you? How dare you get out of line and question anything that we do? You Black bee, get back in your place. Get back in those damn chains and do what we tell you to do. You Black bee. You know how they talk. They calling her all kind of Black bees. Because now that she's questioning them and the things they do, Oh yeah, they don't like her. This is really why they mad. They can give a damn, or about her conspiracy theories and shit like that. It's when she turns it on them. She doesn't like. They don't like that. And Candace is under the belief that, oh, no matter what I say and do, people love me for me. No, 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 no. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Candace does have an audience. She does have people who like her, right? But the reason why they liked her was because she said all the racist shit that they couldn't say because they're white. That's why they really liked her. And I think it still hasn't hit Candace that that's really what's going on. It has not hit her that, oh, the reason why they really liked me was because I said all the shit negative about black people, and they didn't care about what I was saying about them. But now that I'm talking about the Jews and all these other people, they're like, oh, hold on, get back on message. And if you guys are still saying you can't see me, switch over to the horizontal live. Go to the other live if you're saying that you still can't see me. Tokens get spit. You ain't lied about that one. Tokens get spit. Her ass knows that, right, Bama girl? She knows. She knows. She's pretending to be obtuse like she doesn't, but she knows. And let's be honest. Okay, say if she stops talking about Charlie Kirk, right? She's gonna do her live tomorrow, so we'll be curious and see what she says. But is she really gonna stop talking about Charlie Kirk? Because what else would she talk about? I mean, I guess she can go back to Brigitte Macron and all of that. But do we care about that anymore? She need to care about making sure that she lawyered up, because Brigitte gonna take it all. But like I said, what is she going to talk about next? Like, this is her bread and butter right now with the Charlie Kirk thing. I mean, she can try to, talk about the French and Brigitte Macron, but it's only so much you can say. Australia, I don't know if she's going to talk about that, because I don't know if that fits a narrative that she wants to. And also, what happened, and we'll talk about a few tragedies right now. Let me go ahead and break up the show. I do want to say rest in peace to the victims of that horrible Australia terrorist attack. The individuals, as I know, like the dad died, and then the son, they have him in custody. It was two people. And they had it. They were at this beach event, and they had opened fire on the Jewish community. And luckily, there was a guy who was actually Muslim who was able to get one of the guns from the father and was able to save a lot of lives. So definitely shout out to him. I don't have his name, the guy who wrestled the gun away from the shooter, but shout out to him. Yeah. And it's funny because Australia actually has like strict gun laws, and they haven't had like a shooting like that in 30 years, since 1996. Since 1996, they haven't had a mass shooting. A lot of people will argue, oh, gun laws don't change people and da 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 da. But I mean, 30 years without a mass shooting incident like that, yeah. And mind you, the people who are the shooters, they legally could carry. So that was another thing, right? Brown University. I wanted to go ahead and bring this up too, because there's two victims from that. They still don't have the shooter. They still don't know who it is. That grainy video, mind you, on the Brown University campus, it's supposed to be like over 200 cameras or something like that. Over 200 cameras, and they still don't have a clear image of who the shooter is. People who passed away. So the vice president had posted this of one of the girls. She's like a part of this Republican group at her school, right? Well, the funny story is there was actually two victims. And for some reason, the picture did not pull up. Hold on, you guys. She was a head of the this conservative organization, but there was actually another victim, and of course, this victim was brown. So JD Vance, our vice president, did not post the second victim because it does not fit the narrative. Because what they want to do is paint, oh, look at this white girl. Look at the white girl. Oh, look at what they're doing to this white girl. Mind you, we do not know if the shooter is Muslim or not. They're trying to paint it that way, but we do not know for a fact that the shooter is Muslim. This was the second victim. His name was Muhammad. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but he's Uzbekistan. That's where he's from. And so he was also killed too. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter about political affiliation or not. These two people should still be here. It does not matter. But I want to let y'all know there's another victim. It wasn't just one, it was two people. Two people lost their lives. And it's sad that something like this is being politicized. Also, Rob Reiner passed away. You guys heard about that, right? And our president had something to say about that. Let me see if I can pull up a video real quick, you guys. It was disgusting. So Rob Reiner, he's from All in the Family. They also say he was a part of The Princess Bride and all that, but All in the Family is what he was most known for. Let me get... I'm trying to get... Because I can't pull up the thing. I'm trying to get... Oh, here we go. Trump defends reaction towards... Okay.
Mr. President, a number...
And mind you, Trump was called out by his own party for this too. Okay.
of Republicans have denounced your statement on Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. You know, it was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. So he became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country.
Okay, I thought they were going to show the post. Hold on. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, thank you because I did. Yeah, let me go ahead and bring that up because I want you guys to see it. In this. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh, here we go. Okay, so it says, let me blow it up a little bit. Very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling, but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He has known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession with President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia and reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all in expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Remember, these are the same people that said that, you know, we needed to show grace to Charlie Kirk, and how dare you talk about Charlie? Charlie was a great American, and, you know, forgetting all the stuff that Charlie Kirk ever said, but somehow everybody else, it's F you. And even his own party has been calling him out. There's been a lot of people calling him out, right? But it's still fuck you, because at the end of the day, you're still going to support this motherfucker. So, I mean, okay, yeah, you got a little moral stance, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're still going to support him. So who cares? But the fact that in someone's tragic death, tragic, because it's being alleged that he was killed by his son, stabbed to death, him and his wife. You take this moment to talk about yourself in the third person and how he had Trump derangements, like that had anything to do why he died. You know, they say if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all. That's probably one of those instances where he probably should have said nothing at all. And then him in that clip that you seen trying to basically excuse his poor decision, his poor taste. He then says, oh, he said a lot of mean things about me. You're the president. You're supposed to be criticized. People are supposed to say things about you. It's not like you spread love. You know, these are the same people who have that same forgetfulness when it comes to Charlie Kirk. Oh, Charlie Kirk, he was a man of God. God? And let's be honest about something. I'm going to wake it up a little bit. The reason why white people are okay with racism is because the Bible doesn't say thou should not be racist. That's why white people are okay with racism. And they'll still claim to be Christian, but still racist as fuck. Because the Bible does not say thou should not be racist. I'm just waiting for y'all to disagree. Okay, no disagree. Okay, yeah. Show yeah. And again, there was that question that was asked to Erika Kirk about, oh, some people said your husband deserved it. It was weird the way that it was questioned. Because, like I said, this all circles back, you guys. Don't worry. This all circles back to Erika and Candace. The Erika Kirk town hall. I did not watch it. I just seen the clip. Let me... Okay, here we go. And please hit that like button, everyone.
Accusations that her deceased husband incited violence through his political rhetoric before he was assassinated earlier this year. Take a listen.
My husband never incited violence. He never once said, go after them because they're saying XYZ and they deserve to die. My husband never once said that, and he never would. What did he say? Come to the front of the line. I'll put my mic down. He gave them a microphone. And what they do, they gave him a bullet in the neck.
Chuck Rocha and Kevin Sheridan join us now. Chuck is a CBS News political contributor and Democratic strategist, Kevin, a Republican strategist. Gentlemen, good morning to you both and welcome. Chuck, what do you make of what we heard from Erika Kirk there, that encouraging open dialogue is counter to encouraging political violence?
Well, there's a couple points here. It's not lost on me that we've lived through such a violent...
So I want to tell you guys something. Did Charlie Kirk do violence himself? No. But we're not going to sit here and say that Charlie Kirk was the nicest person ever. No one has said, oh Charlie Kirk deserved what he got. He didn't, right? However, we're not going to be sad when something happens to someone who didn't give a fuck about us. We're not going to be concerned with that. I'm sorry. We're not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. No. Oh, well, that sucks. No one is dancing on top of his grave. No one is like, you have people on the internet who troll and do shit, right? But no one ever wished death on Charlie Kirk. And the way that she tries to put on the tears and be like, oh, they said this and they said, oh, you think he deserved this? Well, I mean, the man did say, hey, there might be some casualties, but it's everyone's right to have the Second Amendment. Now, did he ever think that he was going to be a part of that? No, he probably didn't think he was going to be a victim of that. But I mean, it happens. Shit happens. But we're not going to pretend like this guy was preaching love, peace, prosperity. He was not Martin Luther King Jr. Stop doing those memes and saying, oh, they both died speaking truth. Stop that. Stop that shit right now. Oh, you guys were taking everything he said out of context. No, I listened to the full clip. It was still bullshit. Yeah. It didn't change anything. It still made me not like him. Probably even more now that I heard the context around it. But yeah, I mean, I didn't cry. You know, was he nice to George Floyd when he passed away? Him and his bestie Candace were not nice to George Floyd. He was a drug user. He died of fentanyl, you know, all that. So you want me to show, and here's the thing, and especially when it comes to Black people, like we always got to show civility and, you know, be cool and be the bigger person. No, F that. We ain't got to celebrate somebody's death, but we ain't going to sit here and be crying. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys this clip. I think it's in this clip right here.
Propaganda campaign trying to make it seem as if Israel is intentionally starving the people of Gaza. I hate being lied to. It's not called Palestine.
You don't believe that Palestine have the right to exist?
No, everyone has a right to exist. Show me where it is. It's a non-existent place. I don't think the place exists.
What?
Because it doesn't. It's called Judea and Samaria. The overuse of the word genocide.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Because when you keep on using genocide, you're basically trying to cheapen actual genocides that have happened the last 100 years. What? It is an intentional provocation, and I find it to be repulsive. There's one thing we tend to overlook: the people of Israel. The war has taken a huge physical and emotional toll on the Jewish people. IFCJ is on the ground throughout Israel, providing food and life-saving aid to the sick and elderly. Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. We note in our piece that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk self-described very, very radical view.
The same Martin Luther King Jr. they try to compare him to, he didn't like.
That the country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes. The spiritual battle is coming to the West.
Waffles, don't tell that lie in my damn chat. What's wrong with you?
And the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it. But was America founded by immigrants or settlers?
Settlers.
That's not an immigrant.
Overall,
I fundamentally disagree with that.
You can't disagree with a fact.
Hold on. Do you think Ilhan Omar has enriched the United States of America?
I don't know who.
Do you think Rashida Tlaib? I mean, I could go through person by.
He's talking about the Muslim congresswomen, Rashid Tlaib and Ilhan Omar.
I think that's not okay for what Israel is doing to the Palestinians.
What is Israel doing exactly? Tell me in detail. Where's it happening?
Crimes.
War crimes, really? How?
What do you mean how? They're killing little kids, man.
Well, hold on. Killing kids. You mean they drop leaflets before they bomb in Gaza? They warn civilian corridors before they ever engage militarily. They do emergency medical procedures for any person in Gaza that might need it. Do you understand what's actually? It's called war, okay? And in war, sometimes bad things happen.
You know what they do? They drop like these little notes that saying, "We're gonna bomb you. We're gonna bomb you." They drop these notes from the sky, and you have to read the notes that say, "Oh, we're about to bomb you." Like they don't get a heads up and a warning. Sometimes they don't even do that, dropping notes from the sky and letting people know they're getting ready to bomb that area. Sometimes they just do it.
Who started this? I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
Okay.
And this weekend, there was an all-out...
I'm going to have to edit this video and put that clip in here, but I remember a clip specifically when he said all Muslims should die. And I was all like, oh, wow. He said it plainly, you know? And so, again, you have these people who will just say horrible things and think that, oh, this is just this is what Charlie Kirk and a lot of people on social media think. Oh, it's just the internet. It's freedom of speech. Okay. There's also consequences for the speech that you do say. There's consequences for the things in the rhetoric that you spread to people. You just can't say whatever you want. Now, do you have the right to say whatever you want? Yes. But should you? No. You should not just say whatever you want. And especially when it's coming from a place of hate, place of, making people feel othered as far as like something is wrong with them. If you are a Christian, then a Muslim is not a threat to you. If you are a Christian, you're supposed to have love for everyone, no matter who they are. If you're a Christian, then you care about people being starved to death, people who are dying. You care about the people who are less fortunate. So just because you say, oh, I'm a Christian, you just forget about everything? Yes, we were created in his image, exactly, and all equal in his eyes. Acts 10:34, Acts 17:10, John 13:34 are a few places, in my opinion, Jesus addresses racism. Yes. And shout out to Stephanie, because Stephanie, yes, that what race is a system that was created by the Europeans. They didn't have race. People usually went with their ethnicity or their tribe that they were from. White people created that system to where, oh, white skin is above everybody else. There are 138 people in the chat, 62. Yes, please hit that like button. Thank you. He was programmed like we all were. I know there's a talk about, you're a product of your environment or you learn whatever, but at the end of the day, with someone who had resources to know better and do better, and you chose not to do better, then it's still on you at the end of the day. If you had the knowledge and you had the capability of doing what was right and you chose not to, then that's on you. That is on you. I don't blame anybody but him. He knew better. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make that change because, yeah. Like I said in the beginning, I'm curious to see what Candace Owens says tomorrow. I'm curious to see if, she stops all of this and she says, hey, I'm going to leave this whole Charlie Kirk thing alone and we're just going to move on. I really want to know what's going to happen now. What's going to be, Candace's next move? Or is she going to be like, F that? These people are lying. We still need to get answers on what happened to Charlie Kirk. I'm curious to see what happens from that. But, at the end of the day, people don't trust Erika. They think Erika has a motive. She wanted to be, get all the funds, get all the money, take over Turning Point. They think she had a motive. We'll never know until it happens, right? But anyway, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the show right here. Let me go ahead and drop the link if anybody wants to come up. Actually, I thought about that. Let me drop the link if anybody wants to come up. Make it quick. Don't take all day. Get to the point. You know how we do over here. I'll be keeping it moving. I'll be like, all right, we're on to the next thing. And did you guys hit that like button, by the way? Let me check that before we get out of here. Okay, we have Stephanie up. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing?
Hey, cuz, what it do, cuz? How are you?
I'm doing good, can't complain.
Good. Hey.
Oh, your internet.
I'm not
Your
trying to
internet.
call Waffles. My internet?
Yeah.
You can't hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. It's a little choppy, but I can hear you. Go ahead. I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Okay. I ain't trying to call Waffles out. I'm not trying to, bust him out. I'm not trying to, like, clown him or anything or her. But I did want to address that, that comment about, whatever it was said that, we're basically saying, like, we have to, get past our supremacist programming, essentially, to paraphrase, right? And, like, it's whatever was said. You know what I'm talking about, cuz?
No, I don't know.
Well, the comment that Waffles, you took issue with something Waffles said about, how, you said basically, like,
Oh,
it's at the end of the day.
he was changing or something like that. That's what
Right.
Waffles said.
Right, okay, right. That's what, okay, see, thank you. So, we saltines are not the ones that are carrying the burden of our supremacy, right? Like, it oftentimes when we talk about, like, oh, you gotta learn to do better, you gotta know better to do better, like, all these excuses that we make for ourselves to not get off our ass and do the work, right? And, like, all the, like, well, he didn't know any better and all this shit. You have no excuse to not know better, and you have no excuse to not do better, and you have no excuse to not do it now. Like, we're not the ones, and if you don't, then we're not the one, then you're not the one carrying the burden of that. So, like, when it comes down to it, if something, unfortunate comes about because, let me not go down that road, but you see what I'm saying. Like, there's no excuse to be made that makes us the victim of our own supremacy. Like, that's not how this works, right? Like, that's
Right.
not how this works. You don't get to, like, make excuses and then be like, well, it's a process or whatever. Yeah, you're right. But that doesn't excuse you from any of it, because we're not carrying the fucking burden of that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like our burden to bear. This is not our fucking cross to bear. It's our
Hey,
cross to
not so many F words.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll super touch you. But this is not. We are privileged, and we're having other people carry the burden of that privilege. So, regardless of how, if you're doing your process or whatever to get rid of the white supremacy and our programming, like, that doesn't make you a victim of it. Like, we are not the victims of our white supremacy. Like, regardless of how you're trying to do better, whatever. Like, at the end of the day, we're still fully and utterly responsible for that shit, regardless.
Right. Nobody. It's nobody's responsibility to quote unquote change you. It's on you.
Right,
When
and
you
if
know
you're
better, you do better. And if you choose not to do better, it's on you.
Right, if you choose not to do better, it's on you. If you choose not to know better, it's on you. If you choose to, sit on your ass and not do the work, you're not a victim of that. Like, we're not the victims of that shit. So it's not an excuse. Like, we don't get to use it as an excuse, regardless of who you are, where you are, how old you are, where you grew up. It's not a fucking excuse. Or sorry, cuz, sorry. It's not an excuse.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for all the F bombs, Stephanie. You have a
I'm
great
sorry. I'll cash up you. I'm sorry, cuz.
Pulled up to F like 30 times. I'm like, damn. It's okay if you sneak it in one time, but damn.
But you know how I feel about this shit. You know how I feel about this stuff, because like we gotta. It's our responsibility to, and if you're not gonna do it, then it's on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, Stephanie, I appreciate your passion. Like, I would never discredit you for that. But I'm gonna buy you some internet for Christmas because I'm tired of you snap, crackle, and popping all the goddamn time on my damn show.
Well, you know what I think it is?
I'm gonna help you with your internet this month for Christmas. So Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Well, you know what I think it is, cuz I think it is. I had to get a VPN, and I don't think my VPN is working very well on my phone. I think it's interfering with my internet connection. But I had to get a VPN. I had to get a VPN because all those fun sites that I like to go to for recreation. They're all blocked here in Texas. because of our extremely strict age verification laws that we passed, that they are those nice artistic sites that I often frequent are all deciding to block themselves out of the state of Texas because they don't feel like they can meet our age requirement, our age verification requirements. So they are voluntarily blocking us. So I had to get a VPN. So I think it's not cooperating with my phone very well.
Oh, because I know when you go to those sites, it asks you if you're 18 or not. But in Texas, like, they don't.
We
You
have
can't
such the burden is so high that you like, and the consequences are so high if you don't like, and it's so vague on how you're supposed to do it that like PH and some of the others are just basically like blocking Texas completely, so they don't have to mess with it.
Wow, I did not know that. You'll have to tell me about that later. I'm
Yeah.
interested
So I had to
in-
get a VPN. I had to get
Yeah.
technically I'm sitting in Brussels, Belgium right now. So anyway, all right, cuz love you.
All
Bye.
right, thank you. Love you too. All right, let me go ahead and let Ronnie up here. What's up, Ronnie? How you doing?
How you doing, babes? How you doing? AT, I'm a little conflicted right now because I just got done doing my own live where I was talking about how as a society, due to this political climate, we have slowly become spiritually bankrupt. Let me say this. To what Stephanie was saying about the statement that the individual Waffles was making about Charlie Kirk. So from my understanding, what was going on prior to him being deleted was that Charlie was seeing this pro-Israel movement and was not going along. And Turning Point USA, from what I understood, was getting some major backers. Little did Charlie know that those backers were AIPAC or from Israel or something like that, and he was denouncing them. And then when Tucker Carlson and Candace, with their anti-Israel stance, when they were starting to come on to the I guess, I don't know, their little shows or whatever, their jamborees, whatever they was doing, these backers were saying, no, we don't want Tucker, we don't want Candace. So in the beginning, when all of this came out, it was easy to say, okay, well, Candace was having sour grapes because they was cutting into her money. But then when Tucker got on, and I've got I am not a part of their fan clubs at all, either one of these people, but it just seemed really suspicious. And I'm sorry, Candace, she had a 4.5 hour conversation with Erika. I'm sorry, I was watching her stuff because, and I think that I'm a pretty learned person, but Candace was bringing up some really valid points. So I would be interested to see what she has to say about all this, because there's just some things that after that, listen, take Candace Owens out of the equation. The performances or the lackluster performances that I saw from Erika Kirk, yeah, darling, that I don't care what Erika says. She couldn't give me an excuse good enough that's going to make me overlook her fake crying. It's not going to be enough to make me overlook how fast she emotionally rebounded from this man that she supposedly loved while she sat there with her 2 children watching him get deleted. I'm sorry, there's just some things you just do not. There's just some things you do not overlook. There's just some things that just do not get swept under the rug. And at that, I'm starting with just those 2 things. And that begins and ends with Erika. We're not even going through all of the other questions that are surrounding this gentleman's deletion. So,
right. You know what's interesting about it? Like I said, when Candace first started out, it was making sense to me. But the thing is that, Candace is looking overseas. I think that she needs to look not in the seas, I think on the land. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think, we worried about foreign exports or, you know, stuff like that. I think because don't forget, who announced that Charlie Kirk was dead? Do you remember?
You know, let me say this.
Hold on. Donald Trump.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
He was the first one that announced that Charlie Kirk was dead.
Hey, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
And then I said, and they didn't say anything else about it. When pressed, you know, because he gave this, you know, whatever his little feeble mind could memorize, you know, he made it sound, oh, you know, Charlie Kirk was this amazing person. And then do you remember when that reporter said, you know, hey, how are you feeling about Charlie Kirk? And then, you know, he said like maybe 2 sentences and then went right into the ballroom.
Yeah. And then remember he wanted to silence hate speech. And then they're all like, oh, well, Charlie Kirk, he was a proponent to freedom of speech. And he was like, well, you know, I don't know what he would say now. He's not alive or something to that effect.
Let me say this, AT. Like I said, I just got done doing a live. I just got done doing my live.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in regards to Rob Reiner. And, you know, growing up on the South Side, you know, of Chicago, you know, there was just we at this point we only had like 3 channels. It's not like we have it right now. And I say all that to say this, that Rob Reiner, prior to him being political, we knew him. There's a contingency of us that knew him as Michael Stivic. And he was somebody that embodied, that was with us in our front room, that made us laugh. And you know, there was a feeling of cohesion. There was a togetherness. You know, the you know, we still had 2 political parties, but when Rob Reiner appeared on the screen, the political divide wasn't as ugly as it is right now. And when Charlie Kirk got deleted, he was on the Piers Morgan show. Rob Reiner was. And he went on to say how horrific his deletion was. And in spite of whatever political leanings anybody has, that was never the answer. Rob Reiner showed grace to a political adversary no less than 12 hours after Rob Reiner was deleted. And in one of the most heinous ways, at the hands of his son.
Mm-hmm.
The leader of the free world, with his narcissistic overload, decides to write a post and say that Rob Reiner and his wife were deleted due to Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Baba, if that's not political bankruptcy, I need someone to tell me what is. And
Yeah.
and you know, and it's getting to a point, AT, that both sides are now guilty of it. Because how many people on our side were delighted when Charlie Kirk got deleted? And when we start forgetting humanity and summing a person's existence by what political side they were on, everybody loses. Everybody. This is no longer about elections. This is no longer about political sides. This is about just human decency. And we're losing that. And we're losing that at a very fast rate. It's just been really sitting heavy on my spirit. And the thing is that not, you know, all I'm saying, AT, is that you know, we can on a micro level, and what I mean by that, by the individual, we can make a change. Like what is his name? Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see." And when we can
Mhm.
start doing that, that's when we can, but I'm going to tell you something. There are two political sides right now. And one of them is, one of them's doing a whole lot of talking and the other one's not doing too much of anything. So until we get it together to where the other side starts bringing more action and more definitive action where the other side cannot denounce that, here's where we're going to be. And it just seems that it's a game that both sides are playing to keep everybody preoccupied so that we're not focusing on what's really going down. And it's no longer a red versus blue. It's definitely a us versus them.
Right. But I don't like saying people were like happy or celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Like, I know people were doing memes and stuff like that, but at the same time, why do we have to be the ones to show the civility?
Because
Like,
hold on, and
right?
AT,
If they want to celebrate his death, isn't that their right?
AT, let me say this. I definitely understand. I definitely understand where you coming from with that. I definitely understand where you coming from with that. But it goes down to that adage of when you argue with a fool, it's hard to distinguish who's who. And and that's where we're at. And again, and listen, when she said when they go high, we go low, I'm not quite sure that she understood exactly how low they can go. But yeah. But the thing is though, AT, is that playing by their rules is not working either.
True.
It's not working either. And wait a minute. And listen, as a very spiritual person, I do believe that words are things and words can build and words can destroy. Charlie Kirk's own words. He said executions should be free, they should be televised, and they should be fast. Did his deletion not check all three of those boxes? And he also says, I hate empathy. I don't want nobody to have empathy. And did he not manifest that for himself?
He did.
And wait a minute, and that was his self prophesizing. That was his self prophecy. And that was on him. And the universe has a way of equalizing everything. Here it is though, darling.
He put a spell on himself.
Point blank. But at the end of the day, when we celebrate that, and I don't, if it's a smirk, whatever, when we don't take that pause and mourn the potential of what, if he could do all of what he did, AT, what could he have done if he was able to turn that frequency differently? And it's the loss of potential. That we should mourn. Listen, I'm not celebrating anything that man said, because prior to his death, I had no idea who he was. And then when you went digging and stuff like that, and wait a minute, and I'm guilty of the ish too, because I posted something. What did I post one time? I said something to the effect like, well, here, he passed on. That's horrible, but he will never have to worry about an African American pilot's credentials ever again. Thinking that I'm cute.
Damn.
I mean, was it? But I mean, yeah. So I'm guilty of the ish myself.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it myself. But again, to think that I and wait a minute, AT. And I'm not, I mean, who I am as a person, I know who I am. And when that came out, I'm like, wait a minute, Ronnie, when did you become that? And see, the thing is that, and the thing is, AT, is that spiritual bankruptcy doesn't come real fast. It doesn't come loud. It comes in a joke. It comes in a meme. It comes in a post. And we just got to stop it. We got to stop it. And like I said, I'm calling myself out. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling myself out. But once again, Candace, you had 4.5 hours with this woman. And whatever you say, Candace, whatever you say, that I'm not going to dispute your experience with her. But for me, for Ronnie, for what I saw, I didn't see that woman that she claimed was married to him, and I didn't see genuine remorse. I didn't see genuine loss. I didn't see genuine grieving. What I did see is her getting more and more media savvy the more she gets out there. And trust me, if I lost the father of my children and stuff like that, you know, for me, and I'm a pretty hardy girl, for me, I wouldn't be seen for months. But you know, Miss Erika is in her black leather pants, running her fingers through JD's hair. You know what I'm saying? So, and whatever you tell me, Candace, whatever you tell me, you can piss that off a lily pad. I know what I saw. I know what I'm feeling when I'm looking at this. So, and that's where we go from there. And that's where we go from there. But
I'm very curious to see what the conversation entails. And then, also if Candace does decide to change her tune on everything, like, will she be all right, I discussed this and that, she told me some things, and then just leave it there? Or does this kind of give her more ammo to still continue, So I'm very curious of those two things, because, again, I don't think the way Erika is moving, very suspicious. But also, too, that's that lady's husband. And at the end of the day, whatever she says goes. If you wanted to be the one in charge of everything, then you should have married him. But his parents probably wasn't going for that.
Well, we got that too, and there's that too, and there's that too, and like I said, about spiritual bankruptcy, darling, for Miss Candace, as a melanated woman, and I don't care how you want to paint it. I don't care how anybody wants to paint it, to denounce her race. I mean, that's a level of spiritual bankruptcy that needs to be explored as well. But I'm going to say this, AT, in what Candace is saying, and whatever she says, if she flips her script now because of the climate that we're at, is it because during that 4.5 hour conversation, things were revealed to how close her or her children can be harmed?
That'd be a great question. Yeah,
because
it hit closer to home,
It does. And wait a minute. And I'm just throwing this out there, baby. And I'm just throwing this.
I gotta go.
Okay, and I'm just throwing this out there. Who better?
You talked the whole hour, so yeah, it's time to go. Go ahead.
Who better to deliver that threat than the woman who saw her husband get deleted? That's it. That's all.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate that.
I love you, AT. I love you, baby.
I love you too. All right, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end the show right there. Did y'all hit the like button at all? Because I've been talking this whole time and I don't see y'all hitting the damn like button. Hopefully y'all did. It still said we only got 33 likes. But shout out to Ronnie for coming up. That was deep right there. Like, hey, you might want to back off because it could be you next. And shout out to Stephanie for coming up too. I appreciate her and all her F-bombs as well too. But make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. This was a good conversation, and we'll be back for more now that my camera. I'm not unplugging nothing because I want to make sure that my shit works now. So we out of here, y'all. Deuces.